Hey everybody, it's Corey from Thought Soldiers. I'm recording a video today regarding substances during the spiritual awakening process, because this was a topic that was asked to me by a viewer about discussing things like drugs, alcohol, and nicotine during spiritual awakening, and how it all ties in to the awakening process. So first off, I want to share a disclaimer that this view is my view only. I've learned very early on that when it comes to truth seeking and the understanding of what is going to work for you, this is a very individual process. There's kind of like a general guideline of what to do, but when it comes down to it, every person and every teacher I seek or someone that I resonate with heavily, they're all living their own karma. They're all have their own set of things that work for them. So there is no general framework as far as when it comes down to this, because this is a personal experience. Don't ever try to live someone else's awakening process. Live your awakening process, because this is not about doing it, anyone's certain way. This is an individual, internal process that helps you to find the magic within and what works for you. And everyone's at a different spot in their journey. Everyone does things differently, and what may work for you may not work for me, and what may work for me may end up working for a lot of people. It completely varies. So, without having to get into every individual substance and what they use, I want to tie it down to a very, very, very simple thing you can do if you are looking to, if you're going out and having fun and going to go have a drink with your friends, or you're looking to go smoke a joint, or you're looking to do something worse, whatever it is. It's all about intention. It's all about intention. So what you can do is simply just tune in to your heart space and ask yourself, why am I doing this right now? And this question is a good one, because it comes into it comes to be able to try to figure out, am I using this to escape my reality, or am I using this to enhance my connection with spirit? Am I looking to see beyond the veil? What is it that we are doing? A lot of us star seeds right now, as we start to awaken and to arrive to truth, we are not comfortable in the density that we live in. We come from such a high vibrational realm and other worlds where a lot of the dualistic constructs that we are living within right now don't exist. And so there's this heaviness and this weight that ends up kind of stirring up within us of wanting to escape. There's a lot of people that I had a friend who, it wasn't a really, really close friend, but someone I knew locally in my area, that had killed themselves last week. And it was that just couldn't take it anymore. This is happening right now. There's a lot of people that just want to escape. They don't want to be here. They don't want to be dealing with this anymore. And so I would much rather hear someone using something in order to escape and to feel more at home than to try to end their life or commit a very heinous act or a heinous crime. That's just my personal belief. But when you are engaging in the use of some sort of substance, and let's just focus on drugs and alcohol right now, look at what am I doing this for? Am I doing this to escape my reality? Am I running from something? Am I hiding from something? Am I hiding from myself? Or am I doing this to strengthen my spirit? Or am I doing this because it is a part of my self-care routine? So I do know there's a lot of people who, if they have any sort of mental health diagnosis they've been battling with for a while, they'll use things like THC and CBD in order to help themselves. So if you're using a substance as a form of medication for yourself, and as a self-care ritual, I see no problem with it. Where I see the issue with it, and this is my truth, okay? So once again, when it comes down to me speaking my truth here, if it doesn't resonate, throw it out. I'm not here to open up a debate. I'm here to just answer a question of the way that I see things and the way that my eyes view certain things going on. And With substances, yeah, what are you running from? Because the idea is, well, sorry, let me backtrack here. If you ask yourself this question of, am I using this to escape my reality? Well, then, what are you running from? What is it that we're running from? Because one of the things that is more detrimental than the chemical itself on the ascension journey is spiritual bypassing, is not looking at an aspect of ourselves. And when a lot of us have a lot of unhealed traumas, unhealed aspects within ourselves that we don't want to look at, the taking it all on and constantly clearing, especially with how accelerated this ascension rate has been since the beginning of 2019 until now, with how fast moving it is and how much clearing is going on, there's a point where you want to take a breath and you feel like the only way you could take a deep breath is by, taking something in order to alter your reality or to slow down the mind, things like that. I'm not here to place judgment upon anybody who does that. I will tell you this. There have been many times recently where I've wanted to escape. I wanted to run away, wanted to end it all, things like that, because it's just like, wow, this is a lot. Like, is it ever going to clear up? First off, yes, it is. We're in a very rapid phase of the ascension right now where there's a lot going on because it's preparing us for this big collective shift and all the energies that are arriving. We've got a lot going on cosmically as well, that is creating this for us. So it does get better. And we do learn to handle the energies better as they arrive, and to clear the way for our highest path and our highest purpose. So it does get better. But the chemical thing is all dependent upon you. I've been running into many people recently that are judging themselves for smoking weed, for still drinking, eating unhealthy, things like that, and they're judging themselves. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fear component that if I don't cut this out, I'm not going to ascend, or I'm not going to shift, because we're still living in a dualistic construct that drives on fear. It is part of the control matrix that we live within, because that discord, that fear, is what fuels the program. And so the more that we are breaking the program down by aligning with love and aligning with truth, the more that these things are going to kick in to try to instigate that discord or that fear within us in order to keep the controls alive. So, there's nothing to fear with the ascension process, because when it comes down to the higher dimensional realities and what my guidance has told me, and many other truth seekers and way showers that are on here that I listen to, there is no right and wrong in those higher realms, because it's all serving a purpose. The right and wrong is a 3D construct that we're still breaking, especially since we have man-made laws that exist, and we're not used to living in universal law, which is a completely different scenario. So when it comes down to our guidance, whatever we do here down on the 3D realm, every action step we take here, it trickles upward. So the action that we take here on 3D is affected in the higher realms as well, and because of that, it's part of the orchestration. So there is no right and wrong when it comes down to it. There are morals. There are morals that we have to live by, and there's karma we have to live by, because every time we throw out a thought form or we have an action, we have to be mindful that ping pong ball is going to come back. We have to look at karma like a ping pong ball. We bounce it, it goes out, hits a wall, and it comes back to us. So yeah, we have to look at that. But when it comes down to the substances, it's all about your journey. And when you are ready to let go of things, like if you're still operating with certain chemicals, or you still drink on the weekends, and it's something you want to let go of, when you're ready to let go of it, you will let go of it. If not, you can always ask for spiritual intervention. But I will say, if you ask for spiritual intervention and your whole world gets turned upside down and things happen that you don't like, well, you asked for it. Let's just put it that way. I had spiritual intervention happen with my substance use. I've mentioned this a few times on my channel, and this is why I love talking about substances, is because I've battled with substance abuse for the past 21 years of my life. I'm about to be 31 in July. So since a very young age, I've been battling substances. And I'm now coming up next month. I'll have 18 months clean. So this is a topic I feel I'm very well versed in, and especially with the Ascension journey. So when it comes down to it, though, there's a lot of a heartbreak and a lot of heartache that happens when our starseed lineage starts to wake up, and we start to activate our bodies, because we see the density of the constructs we live in. We see the way the world works. We see the discord. We see the fear, and we're like, why did I agree to be here? I want to go home. And that's a very common theme for a lot of star seeds and a lot of earth angels and a lot of people that are living by this truth in this way right now. And so if you do have to use something in order to feel better in your skin, I don't see a problem with it, because when it comes down to it, your energy and your vibration is serving its purpose in the grand orchestration of this world. And so I'm not here to judge. I myself do not prefer to I don't engage in substances. I'm an active member in recovery, and I'm proud of my recovery journey. But I'm not one to sit here and to get on a pedestal and to say that one person's right, one person's wrong. This is all individualized. And so even when you're asking these questions to people that you look up to, other way showers, recognize that we're all living out our karma. We're all living out our lives, and we all have egos too that we're integrating. And so because of that, opinions will vary. Even when it comes down to channeling and guidance, this is something I've had to recognize, is that when someone's channeling a message from their guidance, there is a filter. There's a filter, guys. There's always a filter. And the really, really good channels know, they've done enough clearing, know how to step aside to let that truth come through. But be mindful of that with any, guru, mentor, whatever, teacher, whatever you want to call them. Be mindful that they're living out their own life, and it may not align with yours 100%. So if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, throw it out. But if you're looking to stop using substances, that's one thing that you need to look at within yourself if you want to. And you can always ask for divine intervention. You can always ask for spirit to come down and to take the wheel, basically. Because even though we do have free will, we can ask guidance to step in and to kind of solve this solution for us. Warning, though, it can lead to a tower moment. It can lead to your entire world deconstructing. It can lead to a very nasty thing happening to you, potentially, because you need to be forced into submission. So the amount of resistance that you have created regarding whatever substance it is in your life, that you are escaping within yourself, if you're using a substance to escape a part of yourself you don't want to look at, the amount of resistance you have over that is going to have the magnitude of the event it'll take to be forced into submission if you want divine intervention. So be mindful of that. But, things like, there are people that use, things like ayahuasca and stuff like that, psilocybin, LSD, in order to awaken more and to heal trauma. And that's awesome. If that's something you want to do. I really personally want to do ayahuasca. It's something I want to dive into and try at least once. I'm very pro hallucinogens if they're used in the right way. I'm very pro marijuana too, and pro CBD if people use them in the right way. I just personally don't use them, and that's my truth, and that's it. I've seen miracles work for these substances. I used to make Rick Simpson oil for myself to treat my problems, and I've seen it work miracles in people's lives. And that's another thing too, is that we still live in a construct, with the FDA and the Federal Trade Commission and stuff that will force chemicals onto us in order to fix our emotional states. So when we look at it, a lot of these medications we take are just poisons that we're choosing to toxify our systems in order to stabilize the chemical imbalance within our brains, which I think is messed up, and they're profiting off of it. But that's the way of the world. Everything is a business. We need money to survive in this world. And so that's just the way it is. We have to learn to accept it. But there's always ways of being able to. So if you're looking to strengthen your connection with spirit, you're looking to open up your third eye, things like that, and you're trying to reach substances for it, recognize that everything you need on this journey will be provided for you, and the level of awareness you need doesn't have to be induced by a chemical. So if there's one person who is, they're able to call out an alien lineage that visits them, on a day-to-day basis, or there's someone that's, a medium, or someone who's extremely clairvoyant and you're not, don't start forcing substances into your system to try to get to their level of clairs, or to get that, strength of psychic connection, because everything will open up to you and show itself to you when you are ready for it. And that's the thing about this process, is it's very organic. It's going to happen naturally in its time. There are things you can do to expedite the process: meditation, deep breathing, yoga, energy work, eating healthier. That will help to strengthen your connection with spirit. But you don't necessarily have to induce a substance into your system in order to strengthen that connection. There are masters, ascended masters, and gurus, things of that nature, those level of titles, that have become enlightened beings on earth, and have become masters on earth without substances. It's happened. So we still, though, we live in a society that likes to escape their reality. And a lot of us, these are habits and programs that we picked up before we started to awaken. And when we awakened, we recognize these programs no longer serve us. And if you're ready for divine intervention to come in and to help guide you to your truth, ask for it, and it'll arrive. It'll arrive, and it'll work out. But once again, it could suck. It may beat you into submission, but it's going to be exactly what you need if that's something that you're really calling in to get help with. Now, about nicotine. This is something another part of the question was, what about nicotine? Well, I still smoke. So I've been trying to quit smoking since October. I will quit for a couple weeks, and then I'll pick it up again. I'll quit for a couple days, pick it up again. I am a vapor, so I will vape, and I do still use nicotine. I haven't been 100% ready to let it go yet, especially since I'm only 18 months off of drugs, and I'm off of all mental health medications for the past 2 months as well. So it's one thing at a time. I still drink caffeine. I still smoke cigarettes. And yeah, I've learned not to judge my process for doing it, because this is, once again, it's a personal journey. I'm doing it my way. And I'm divinely guided, and I know when the time is right, the time will be right. And right now it's just not right. And that's okay. Be careful that there are going to people that care about you and are going to project their opinions on you, or there are people that are on their pedestal and think they know what's best on the awakening journey, and will try to push their agenda onto you. Just the best phrase that I say to myself when that stuff happens is, "Miss me with that bullshit." I don't say it out loud, but internally I just go, you know what? Like, I know what you're trying to do, and it, most of the time it's coming from a spot of love, and so just honor it and say thank you. And if it doesn't resonate with you, just throw it out. That's the way it is. But nicotine for me is one that I really want to quit, but I'm not 100% ready to, just because I'm not comfortable in my environment. It's still a coping mechanism, and I found it's a past life thing too. Through meditation and just following synchronicity and guidance, I recognize that in a past life, I may have died in a fire, or suffocated, or have done that to another individual, may have burnt someone alive at the stake. Who knows? I don't have a whole lot of clarity, but I do recognize that my smoking is a level of suffocation that I believe at a soul level, for some reason, I needed to live out in this lifetime in order to play out my karma, and to get aligned with my highest purpose, my highest ideal. So, the big thing is to not judge yourself and to not make comparisons. If it feels wrong internally, it's probably wrong for you. And then here's what's beautiful about that. As soon as you are aware that it may not be something for you, or it's just not working anymore, you now have a solution. With every problem, that you encounter on this journey, you have a solution. And if you choose to illuminate that aspect and follow your intuition, let guidance, just call upon your guidance, pray, meditate, whatever you do, write about it, about seeking the solution, and then just be open to the solution arriving. And the biggest thing, though, too, is that if you ask for a solution for these problems and a solution shows up and it doesn't look the way you want it to, or you don't like how it sounds, well, it's because the universe and your guidance knows what you need. And sometimes our temporal form here may think we know what we need, but the universe knows exactly what we need. And it's always going to bring in everything we need along this journey in order to evolve and to grow and to expand. So just be mindful of that. So, guys, that's it. That's my little discussion about substances on this journey. The biggest thing is that, honor your truth and speak your truth clearly and quietly. And if it's your time, it's your time. And if it is your time, and this is a habit you want to break, I wanted to offer a light language activation towards releasing harmful behaviors. So in the description box, I'm going to have a link for my newsletter. So I have an email list that I just got going that is going to be sending out content and newsletter articles that I write and things like that to my viewers, and specials on things like Reiki and coaching packages and stuff like that that'll be arriving. So if you have kind of hit a point where you want to break these patterns with anything substance wise or just even an unhealthy behavior, go ahead and I offer you to sign up for my email list, and I'm going to send out a personal a light language activation that will help to ease this process in, where it won't be so abrupt and it won't be a tower moment, but help for you to release any fear regarding letting go of old patterns of behavior, things like that. And if you're not interested in the light language activation, go ahead and sign up anyway. I'm going to be publishing a lot of content, a lot of writing stuff, a lot of poetry. That's kind of going to be more of where I put everything out there. Anything about my website, any new services I'm offering, and just little excerpts if you wanna follow me and appreciate what I have to say. I'd really appreciate you guys following and subscribing to that. And I wanted to thank everyone for the overwhelming amount of love I've been receiving recently. I got a few really cool emails, just really touching and really helpful to know that what I'm doing is the right thing and that my truth resonates with some people. And this is a really beautiful thing, a beautiful way to be able to step out and to show my vulnerability to the world, and to show that I'm human, and to be proud of that I'm a starseed, and to be proud that I'm an earth angel, and to show up and to speak my truth regardless of the backlash, because there are people out there that are going through the same thing and are feeling lost and scared and broken, and they just want to know they're not alone. And so that's why I'm here, is to let you know you're not alone, and that I'm human too. I got vulnerabilities, I've got weaknesses, but I can transmute those weaknesses into strengths today, and I can publicize them and be open about them, and not feel shame, and feel more empowered that I've got some density within me, and that I have truths that maybe a majority of the population doesn't understand, but they're awakening to right now, because all of us are feeling it. The shift is happening. We're seeing it happen everywhere, and if you're scared to speak your truth, I'll tell you this: every time that I've spoken my truth, whether it be family or even at my job, and even here at my house, there's someone over a course of time that will come up and will be like, you know what? I always believed in this stuff. I just never wanted to talk about it. And it's really cool, because at first there may be that discord, like, what are you talking about? This kid's crazy. He's talking about aliens and space, but you never know when your level of uncomfortability with speaking your truth can end up helping another individual, and then they feel comfortable, and then all of a sudden you got a beautiful bond with someone that you guys may have thought you had nothing in common, but there was just you triggered something within them to be able to find their own light and to shine it out as bright as possible. So thank you once again for this entire process. Much love and respect to everybody out in the Webiverse, and that's all I got. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Namaste.